afternoon. We're back here on Coach's Corner. I'm Jim Wilburn, and we have a couple of fine guests here this afternoon. We're going to talk first with Coach Cooper Henderson, the athletic director and head football coach here at Artesia High School. And good afternoon to you, Coach.
How are you today, Jim?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you again.
You too.
Well, I know we've been busy. We had an off week, and then we took on the Goddard Rockets, and then we played Portales this last week. And both of those ball games were very different type of ball game. Let's talk first about the Goddard game. I know usually we play them the last game of the season, and this year they popped up first on our schedule. How did you like that change?
Didn't like the outcome of the game, but as it worked out, we felt like the change probably still was beneficial in the sense that we had a little extra preparation time. You might not have thought that way looking at the outcome, but we felt pretty good about it. The thing that I think is difficult is the team that has to open the last weekend. You would hope you would never have to go with not filling that and then have to go in the first four, so you'd go 3 weeks without a game. Yeah. That's the only part that wouldn't be good. And right now we're the middle one for another year, so we're okay. We like it.
We'll stay where it's at then. Well, talking about the game, Goddard came out and were very physical. Didn't throw the ball much. Didn't run a whole lot of different plays. They just pitch it right, pitch it left, and stop us if you can.
They really did. And as you people that got to watch the game, we didn't stop them as much as we needed to. We did get that turnover in the second half, and then offensively we moved the ball, but made. Didn't get in at half. We're down to the 3-yard line before half. We also had 2 turnovers, and against a real good football team, you can't have those kind of mistakes. The other end of it, I still feel like we competed hard. I think that our group definitely is hoping we get another round with Goddard and playing hard to get there.
Well, I know you mentioned that failure to score right there before halftime. I think the whole second half may have turned and been a lot different had we been able to punch it in at that time. And we did take advantage of the turnovers. And Goddard is just a big bunch of kids.
They're a good football team, and that's the other thing I really won't take anything away from. Yeah. Goddard came out, lined up, and blocked and tackle, and did the things that a good football team does, and they did them very well.
You know, I was thinking, along with probably a lot of other people, well, we finally got rid of their quarterback and their running back they had the year before, and then here comes Green and I can't remember the other Anaya, and they ran the same thing and looked looked good. Yeah, you know, I had the pleasure of doing all the sports, and I watched Maddie Green, young man's older sister. You know, she was quite an athlete. Talked to her mom at a volleyball game, and she's now playing softball at UNM. So. Comes from an athletic family.
Sure does. And again, they've got a good team. The other end of it, like I said, we're definitely hoping to get to play to the point, get to see them again.
Well, I noticed too, Coach, we didn't throw the ball as much as we normally did against Goddard.
No, I think this year you'll see us mix up a little more. We definitely feel like Andy's one of our best threats, and our O-line, does a pretty good job most nights of getting some things done. And you definitely gonna have to do both to beat Goddard. Out of our offense, we have to do both, but didn't do either one quite as effective as we wanted. But I say, all the ifs and ands, and all that stuff, but didn't get it done.
Well, I know, as you said, everyone from the players on up to the oldest fan around wants to play again. So hopefully that'll take place later on in the playoffs. And then last Friday, we took a trip up to Portales and kind of met a team that was, I know I talked to some of their people up in the press box. They had some injuries and stuff, and they weren't quite the Portales teams that we've seen in the past.
They were really down. We talk about Goddard being good. Honestly, I think Portales would be the first to admit that this year's team isn't the quality that Portales usually has, and definitely we had a whole different type of challenge last week against Portales, and I was pleased with the fact that we kind of focused on ourselves and kind of evaluating, being sure we didn't play at the level that they're playing right now, and felt like we came out of that meeting most of our goals.
I think those games are harder on a team and a coaching staff than the Goddard game, because I know I would hate to see any type of injuries happen in a game where you're playing against a team with lesser talent. and right in the middle of the district. And I know that's probably some of the reason you were kind of holding your breath. I know I would have if I'd have been the head coach.
Oh, more than anything, you just want to go and not play at that level.
Exactly.
You just want to be sure that you get better, and I don't think it's the time of the year that you want to see anything but improvement. And that's why it's hard to measure improvement, but that's why if you measure it against your standards, which we use a goal board, and we met some goals we hadn't met during the season and kind of emphasize that. And one part you kind of hate too is that with the seeding and with the 50-point rule, we did get some players in some playing time that don't usually get it, but not as much as you'd like to.
That's right. I know that second half you opened up, and it was entirely your second teamers, and we got the interception, and we got the ball on their 30, and you can't tell your kids, hey, let's back off.
No.
let's go play.
Yeah.
And it brought it down, and then came in and kicked the field goal, and that was good practice.
It was. We really haven't had too many opportunities where we felt good about field goal kicking, and actually we're doing a little better this time of year. And Zach kicked that one well, and you never know when you get down to these playoffs when one of those might be the difference in a win or a loss.
Well, I know one of your goals on your goal board is to get 8 men to the football. And boy, that game was, you met that goal over and over. Sometimes we counted 10 and 11 people.
And I think that after a loss like we had can give you some confidence, give you a little bit of momentum, and we're expecting that to help us carry into this week's game.
And I know when we get ready for Roswell Coyotes. Now, the Roswell Coyotes have played a lot of people that we've played, and you can't go by comparative scores. I know that. You play the game on the night you play it, and things will happen differently. But Roswell's much improved than they were last year.
They really are. They have a ball club that I think every year that since their coaching tenure have just gotten a little better every year. And when you look, they've been able to put points on the board. They scored 31 on Hobbs. People I've had this week that expect us to win say, oh, you got another one. I said, no, this team beat Portales 42-7, something pretty similar to what we did. They're an improved ball club, and they do have some speed. And anytime you have those two things, a ball club that's has a winning record right now and also has some speed, you better come ready to play.
And as we look at Roswell, do you expect them more run, more pass, or are they kind of equal?
We expect more run, but we also know that I'll give him a hard time. Coach Faith is on that staff, and with Coach Faith, you can always expect something different. There'll be a surprise. There'll be a trick somewhere in the thing, whether it's a kicking game or a new defense, or they ran a reverse pass for a touchdown a few years ago, first play of the game against us, and that's the kind of thing we've got to be alert for. But they do have a ball club that I know they're proud of and feel like that quite a bit stronger than what they've had.
Well, and also this game will end all of our seniors' regularly scheduled home games. And I know we'd like to have a big crowd, and we will have a big crowd, but some of these kids have been in your program for a long time, and I know you'll get them all in there if you get an opportunity. Well,
we sure hope so. At the same time, we're really looking at it as just a big district game. When you only have 2 district games, they're both big.
Yeah, both of them.
And this game really will not only important for us to win, but important for us to have a good game with the seeding process takes place the next evening, and I think all that figures into the process. And so we need to go out and just be sure we have the kind of game you'd want for a district ball game.
So that seeding will take place on Saturday?
Saturday evening.
And so it'll probably be published by Sunday then?
It'll actually be on the internet that night.
Oh, that night?
Yeah.
So if we go to the New Mexico, what is it?
Activities.
Activities Association,
right.
Yeah.
And MAC.org.
So
ACT.org.
We're looking for a top 4 seed, right?
That's sure what we're hoping for, and the other part, we're just going to control the things we control, and for our players, that's beating Roswell this week.
That's right, and that's the main thing. We're not looking that far ahead. I know you're not.
No.
And none of the rest of us are either, because Roswell, it would do them nothing but well.
Make their season.
They could come up here and make it close anyway. And I know the year that they did that, they almost thought they won the ball game, but it was close. But Coach, we appreciate you coming in. Good luck this Friday, and then when we go into the playoffs, whatever the seeding, we're behind you 100%. And we'll be there bringing the ball games back to RTG if you have to go on the road. How does that look this year? How, the people
we're sitting a little better this year as far as people who like to have those home games, I think.
So we won't be Willie Nelson on the road again.
Not every week.
Okay. Well, Coach, again, thanks. We appreciate it. Come back and talk to us after the Roswell game, and we'll let everybody know when and where those next games will take place.
Thank you, Jim.
We'll be back right after this, and we'll talk with Coach Gowan of the volleyball team.